Safe in Merrick's Arms. Chapter 5. Dreamy Days. Summer was terrified, but she realized that Merrick was calm. He started the car and carefully watched as she settled herself in and fastened the seatbelt. Do you need anything urgently? He said. I'm going to be okay once we get going and I calm down. If I don't calm down, then I can start to feel unwell. I will let you know. The gate opened and they rode out of Cardiff Hall in the direction of Montego Bay. As they reached the main road, his phone rang with Summer's father telling them that her drugs were available at Blue Diamond Pharmacy, which was in Ironshore outside of Montego Bay. Merrick parked face out near the exit, and then Summer, wearing a baseball cap, sunglasses, and a pullover, went inside the pharmacy to fill her prescription. They got everything, including anxiety medicine that she had not filled in nearly a year. She nodded when she returned to the car, and Merrick continued to Montego Bay using the seaside hip strip. Then they went up to Leaders Road, which led them back out of the city by a route through Norwood. They left Montego Bay, past Ironshore, Runaway Bay, St. Anne's Bay, Ocho Rios, and to Fern Gully. The trees framing the winding road was dim, although it was by then mid-afternoon on a sunny day. The road was wet, and vehicles splashed through the water that was running along the lower side of the road. At a wide part of the road, a small grey SUV was parked so that it did not obstruct traffic facing Ocho Rios. Merrick checked his mirrors, and when there was a break in traffic, he did a turn and parked in front of it, also facing Ocho Rios. He told Summer to unbuckle and be ready to move, then checked his rearview mirror, nodded, and then told her to leave her bag and go and sit in the back seat. She quickly did that while he took up their bags and deposited them beside her in the back seat, and he took the driver's seat. Without hesitating, he revved off into Ocho Rios. And when two cars came between them, she noticed that the car they had just left had swung into traffic behind them, trailing them. She did not even notice when the driver had switched cars. We have an escort? She asked. Just until we clear Ocho Rios to make sure that we're not being followed, and then we'll be on our own. Summer tried to relax, and in what seemed like a short time, which indeed it was, they were pulling into the driveway of the Jamaica Inn Hotel. They asked for adjoining rooms with a connecting door and were able to secure one in the main building. Summer could not do justice to the beauty of the hotel. Her room overlooked a pristine garden which led down to a white sand beach. Everything was crisp in Wedgwood blue and white. She checked her vitals. Her blood pressure was high. The tea caddy had herbal tea, and she made herself a cup and sat and watched the flowers moving to the sea breeze of the garden in front of her. By the third evening at the hotel, Summer and Merrick had quietly fallen into a rhythm. By 5 a.m., they were in swimwear, walking from their rooms for an early morning swim in the calm seawater. She learned that he was a competent swimmer, and they could easily do 4 laps of the 400-meter bay. They breakfasted before most guests in the breakfast area, and then returned to their respective rooms. Summer had a practice of reading or doing research on sports in the morning, and he would come over and they discussed sports and fitness in general, but kept away from health and wellness. Summer had resigned herself that Merrick was her bodyguard, not her friend. He was employed to ensure that she remained safe for 2 weeks so that she could give testimony in a court of law. But every now and then, Merrick let something personal slip. I always have energy gels. They're better for bursts of energy than granola bars or fresh fruit, he said. I was on reconnaissance duty one very cold night, sub-zero, no shelter. And when the target appeared and got into a motor car, I followed it on bicycle through the streets. Bicycle was better because there are a lot of corners in these old cities, not like America with wide roads. I kept up the chase for half an hour and handed over the location of the target to the extraction team. How did you get into cycling? My stepfather, he was a semi-professional who raced with teams in some leagues. He got me my first bicycle and taught me to ride. Said I had the build of a cyclist. Merrick gave a wistful half grin. I rode my first bicycle at 16. Now I never go anywhere without my bicycle. What was your sport before that? Nothing. Nothing at all. They moved on to other topics, but Summer believed that at some point he lived in Europe and worked with law enforcement there. On their last night, after a dinner where they both had fish but in different styles, there was a live band playing on the hotel terrace, and Summer and Merrick both went out on her balcony to hear it better. Summer started singing the words that she remembered and without thinking started to dance. Then she realized that Merrick was singing along with her. They looked at each other directly in the eyes and sang the disco staple, Melba Moore's Love's Coming at You, which had as its hook, straight up and full speed ahead, love's gonna make you mine, all mine. Then the drummer playfully did a drum roll pull-up and the band reorganized and transitioned into the Capleton reggae, Love is Coming at You, twice the speed of lightning, to cuddle and just comfort you. What you gonna do? Summer felt warm with expectation. Yes, love had come at twice the speed of lightning, and it was with her protector, Merrick, who was daily showering her with respect and real, not professional humanity. Just that morning, after a vigorous swim at which she set the pace, he playfully caught up with her and beat her at the end. She splashed water on him and saw one of his rare, full smiles that broke across his face like daylight through clouds. When they ordered food, he always ordered something that she did not, so that she would have the opportunity to taste an additional dish. His knock on her door in the mornings was always a gentle 2 taps, nothing more. If she did not respond, then he would rap. This love was truly to cuddle and comfort and protect. What was she going to do? Summer could no longer hear the music from the band. She was caught up searching the darkness under Merrick's hooded eyes and seeing the muscles tense in his jaw. Then his phone buzzed on the table, and he reached for it and walked away to his room, closing the door quietly behind him and leaving her hot, flushed, and bothered.